Look at this little guy go. I've done 2 miles on a 2200 milliamp hour LiPo battery today. This has just been awesome. What is going on? This is AlTone, and today I wanted to share with you some of my upgrades and some of the plans that I actually have for this awesome crawler. This is the Atlas 4x4 from FMS or RocHobby, and like I said, I've done some upgrades to it already, taking it out for a nice little trail walk with the new RC club that we are now starting in our community, and it was fantastic. So let's go ahead and take a look at this guy, and let me show you what I got here. So one of the things that you may notice that I have here on the side is this is a RadioLink RC 4GS V3. Now, I was talking to my friends over at RadioLink, and they didn't send this out to me. I actually purchased this with my own money, but this is one of the upgrades that I'll be doing to this vehicle. I actually have this RC4GS, which actually comes with the R6FG receiver. And this receiver should have a gyro. I don't know if I'm gonna need to turn a gyro on for this particular truck, but it is a crawler, and this is one that they suggested I use. This will be my radio for any crawlers that I get in the future that I'm going to be doing upgrades to. But primarily, this guy is going to be running this one. What you have on here, or what you see on here, is I've actually updated or upgraded my wheels and tires. This was a full set of 4 wheels and tires. These are very nice. They do not come, and if you've seen any of my other videos, I actually did a quick overview of these wheels and tires of this set. All these little nuts in here have to be tightened down and put on to the wheels. So they are actually bead lock tires and wheels and tires, and it does have a very nice soft sponge insert inside this wheel as well. They could be weighted down. The internal ring is actually aluminum and not made out of brass. So you could get a brass interior ring and get a little bit more weight down on this guy, but I love these tires. They perform very well. They look better. I still have the stock tire here on the back. They look much better than the stock tire. At some point I may go ahead and take this off as a spare since it doesn't match. But with many of your vehicles, you know, they usually for your spare tire put a cheaper wheel on as far as the spare is concerned. I did actually even get my fire extinguishers installed back here as well. That's the only other thing that I went ahead and added from the package, which I thought was very cool. What I've done is I've taken a Sharpie, and I got this idea from from someone else watching another YouTube video, where you take a Sharpie and just outline the doors, and that actually gives that little separation where you can kind of like see the rubber seal in the door. I didn't do the best job of it myself, and I had to actually use alcohol to wipe it off a few times and try to fix some of the lines that weren't straight. Did the same thing for the fins here in the front, and then I actually designed and cut my own graphics for this guy. Since this is Horned Fury, which is basically your rhino pattern, I actually cut that and put that on the hood, and then did a little bit of extra marking. Now I have lights for this because, of course, you know, out of the box, make sure you don't knock that box down. Out of the box, the tail lights do not work, and the headlights do work. The headlights work, but we have lights in the bumper that aren't currently working. I do have LEDs to put in there. I just haven't had the opportunity to do it yet because I want to. I actually purchased a full light kit. But I don't really like that light kit for this vehicle, only because there are way more lights than what's necessary or what I really need. And so I just want to put the 4 additional lights, 2 in the front and 2 in the rear, and get those working. And that's pretty much it. These will function basically as nice little fog lights in the front. That's where I'm going to go. And then we'll have our brake lights in the rear, which will possibly be on constantly. We'll see how well that the light controller that I have is actually going to help with that function. And I also do have some, because as I ran this vehicle before, I scraped up the pumpkins quite a bit, and so I got this nice, I'm pretty sure these are aluminum, but these nice little braces, covers here for the front, and for the pumpkins, so you can keep, because they're made out of plastic, I didn't want to scratch them up and then have to replace parts and stuff on it too quickly. So that's there in this center piece here. So that those are going to take the majority of the abuse when I'm going over rocks and that kind of thing. You can see that there's some scratches here already. But that is basically all of the upgrades that I've done. You can't see it as well, but I also added brass wheel hexes to it to add just a little bit of weight. Underneath the hood, one of the things that this vehicle did not come with, which is very interesting to me, was it didn't come with straps for your battery. So I did have some battery straps sitting around, and I went ahead and put battery straps on it. They're a little bit longer than what they need to be. Basically, all you really need is for this battery just to be able to sit there without bouncing around, and that'll take care of it. One of the other things that I think I'm going to do is I'm going to, especially if I take my spare tire off, I'm going to make a panel or a storage box to put in the back, in the bed of this vehicle. And that storage box is going to house a much larger battery. So I've been running this guy on a 2,000 milliamp hour LiPo, and I was able to take it on a 3-mile trail walk without losing battery power and without overly taxing my battery. So that was awesome. And I pretty much traveled at a walking pace the entire time. That works out great. So if I put any larger capacity battery on this guy, it's going to be really, really good. And again, it will fit in the back. So all I have to do is put an extension and run it. I could actually put a small little hole here if I decide I want to, or just run it up into the back here and then put the case in with the battery would be covered, and I could put a much larger battery on this guy and be able to run it for a much longer time. Because one of the things I really want to do, and again, we're starting up we have already started, and it's starting to grow, which I'm very excited about, is our local community RC club, which is a general based RC club that no matter what your interest is, you can get into the club, and then we can create activities around those particular RC interests and get everyone, or get others, youth and adults, involved in the RC hobby. And I think that is fantastic. It's been taking a lot of my time, and but I've been enjoying it, and I think it's fantastic. Met some really great people so far, and many more that are actually willing to help out, which is fantastic. So at any rate, just wanted to share that with you. I think this is going to be, it is my favorite of my crawlers at this point. But I plan on having a whole lot of fun with this guy. We'll see if we decide to do anything else different with it, or maybe get him a sister or a brother to run along with him. But I think FMS did a great job with this vehicle. I love the look. It's just a beautiful vehicle, and upgrades are out there for it. So thanks so much for stopping by and checking this out with me. I really appreciate it. I'll be sharing a few more of my updates and upgrades as I get this radio and receiver put in and get the lights set up. I'll come back and share some more of those upgrades in the future. Not only that, but maybe I'll even take you for a nice little, as the club gets going and we have more people involved in our trail walks, I'll make sure we capture some video so that I can share that in the future as well. So thanks again for stopping by. I look forward to seeing you in a future video. Take care. Just doing a nice little trail walk. Right now I'm off-road. I've been mostly on asphalt for the majority of that. But this is awesome.